Learn to appreciate everyone's uniqueness, starting from yourself. You see, in this life that you live in, it's become everything is competitive to a point whereby simple conversations turn into how much. Simple highs and fine turn into what do you do? Simple how was your day turn into what's your value, what's your net worth, and all that stuff. And eventually we end up losing the essence of life, the beauty of life. Everyone has something that makes them stand up and stand out. There's a uniqueness. And until we learn to appreciate that uniqueness, we'll always live in a competitive mode with ourselves and with those around us, to a point whereby everything loses its actual value. Think about it like this: you go to an event. When you go to an event, you don't know many people, maybe you're invited. Maybe the person invited either is the host of the event, so they're pretty much caught up, or let's say they're not that much caught up. So anyway, you come to an event, still trying to figure out what's going on in the event, catch up and all. And then you hear someone have a good conversation. Either they strike a conversation with you, or you notice they're just striking a conversation with someone else. Conversation is amazing, maybe you eavesdrop or you just join in and you listen, and their storytelling is amazing, whichever way it relates to, whether it's social, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you like it, you enjoy, you get drawn to the conversation, even you get drawn to the group, or even you get drawn to the person. And out of it, it could even strike a more conversation with the individual, even to lead to a point to say, hey, let me buy you something here, whatever it is that's within. Or tell me more about this, or tell me more about that, or tell me more about this. Remember, when you came to the event, you didn't have any anticipation. You only came to an invite that you invited. But you met someone who was able to light up the mood. And the more you get to know the person, you come to realize, one, they didn't pay much for the event. Maybe they were told just come to the event. And you realize, wait a minute. If that person wasn't in that room, all those people wouldn't be listening. This individual didn't have the money for the event. They were paid for by someone. They just came. But their value lit up the mood. Because in every event, we have three types of people, or we have three situations that all merge into an event, a ceremony, whatever it is. We have the financing of the event, we have the services that will be offered, and we have the presence of the people. You might have, let's say, someone who has organized the whole event, paid everything. You will need people to actually do the actual work. So let's say we have two categories. We have the people who paid for the event, the financer of the event, and then we have the services that have been offered in that event. Those two, let's say those two are there. But if they lack the presence of the people in that event, the whole event loses its own, it loses everything. It becomes, because who's going to eat? And some of the people who come to eat, not all of them can pay for some of these events. Some of them, you just pay for them and they come. And them being able to consume and light up the mood in the conversation, make the event an event. And that's the thing that many people don't seem to understand. There'll always be that one person who may not have the money, but trust to me, when they walk into that room, everybody listens. They may not have the education. They may not have the network or the net worth, but their value is why the reason is still. And when they are not in that event, everybody starts making calls. Yo, where is so and so? And if so and so is so and so, let's go look for him. How many times do you go and travel a place where there's an up country, wherever it is? And then you're always looking for that uncle, that auntie, that grandma, that old man. It doesn't matter. And most of these people have been rejected either by their family, relatives and all, because they say, oh, that drunk uncle, oh, that drunk aunt, oh, that whoa, that. But that person has so much value, because when you go there, you feel alive. And you say, you know what, oh, let me buy you something, uncle or auntie or grandma, or you take them somewhere and you buy them something that they like. And you realize how they're lit up, they're happy. They don't do anything bad to you. They make you see your own worth. And after that, you realize, and someone asks you, what were the events of the day? You don't even remember uh, the food or anything, or whoever was the financer. You remember this one individual who lit up the mood, because such is life. Such is the uniqueness of life. Everyone has their uniqueness. Even if you have properties and all that stuff, someone has to manage them. The person who manages them may not have the qualifications, academic and all that stuff, but they're very good at managing. They may not be creative in terms of finding ways to invent something. And when you're having those conversations, you don't judge them by anything because you see their worth. And that is, it doesn't matter. There are people who have properties and they'll have someone who's going to manage those properties. And that person will manage it very well. They may not, like, let's say you have a big land and they may not till the land. They may not do much, but to me, that house is well taken care of because everyone has the strength and weakness. There are places you go into a company or a business and you'll find there's this one person who's always at their corner. They always light up the mood. It doesn't matter if they're high or not high. If you don't see them, you're like, now this day is going to be a bad, rough day. But when you see them, you know. And that's the thing about life. Learn to appreciate. Sometimes I look at even relationships, partners, couples, whatever, all is competing when each one of them has one thing unique. You may have your physical strength, another one may have wisdom and can be able to discern. Everyone has the uniqueness, but here we are, couples fighting from here to Timbuktu. Everyone saying, I know this, I know that. What if they merged and appreciated each other's strength? Because some of the issues people go through is because they're too competitive. I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm better than you. What if you appreciated the uniqueness? Maybe someone is very artistic and creative. They don't have the money, but trust you me, you give them everything. Or maybe you give them the money, they'll squander it. But you give them the resources, they will give you something out of. You'll sit down and say, yeah, it was worthwhile. Because at the end of the day, appreciate everyone's value. Appreciate everyone's uniqueness. Appreciate your own. It starts with you. You have to start with appreciating your own. What's your strength? What's your weakness? Taking a giraffe and putting it in the sea and expecting it to figure it out, that's not the place of strength. Taking the shark and bringing it to the land, that's not his place of strength. Learn someone's place of strength, appreciate it, invest in that part. Where there are children, understand if they're children, understand the strength of every child is different. There's one child who just loves to learn, to grow, and to travel. There's one who doesn't like that. Appreciate that. Get to know what they love. They are in relationships. There's one person who's a traveler. There's one person who loves to talk from here to, like, they talk. And that's who they are. But you know the type. And that's just their place of strength. It's all fun and games until the day they stop talking. And then you realize, okay, something is not adding up here. Because everyone is unique. Your value matters. Appreciate the value of those around you. Because today is not promised, tomorrow is not promised. And you'll be very surprised with how a few words can change a whole environment. Because we live in a world, everything is competitive. Everything is competitive. Let's say you have content, you have whatever social page, media page, and you have followers and following. And many people, instead of looking at it, building a community based, is very transactional. What happens when there's no money from the people whom you expect? What happens after that? What happens if you are with someone and lights go off, everything, and now you have to talk? Now you can't use your technology. Everyone has a value. Appreciate those values. Not everyone is going to be a book person. Not everybody is going to want to desire to grow and travel, to grow in careers, to grow in this. Once you've seen that person's area, appreciate it. Don't bring them down. That's what they love. Now, whatever they're good at, invest in that. Learn from that. Grow. I recall just a decade back, drove somewhere and had almost a very bad accident, tire burst midway. And I went into this town, and there was this guy. This guy was known as the drunkard of the drunkards. So I approached him. I mean, the other guys were not really approachable. And I told him, I have a really messed up tire, and I need a new second-hand tire. I'm a former mechanic, so I could know which type of tire I needed. And I went to him. He went and got me to another person who was selling tires. I paid him. He got paid by the other person. I got my tire. He got his money. The other got the tire, and we were all happy. If I had looked down on him, I wouldn't have a tire. Because in this life, You have a value. Don't look down on yourself. And if you're in a room and everybody is looking down on you, yeah, that's their problem. Go to a place where you're celebrated. Because maybe the house or the community you're around doesn't value you, but once you get out, you'll be very surprised with how many people who want to listen, talk, walk, and need you in their presence. You have a value. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Appreciate it, nurture it, grow it. And when all said and done, always remember, you are worthy. You are better than you actually thought you are.